Hello van fans, welcome to another episode of VFFs Vanlife Podcast. I'm so pleased that you're back with me to talk about vans for another week and to hear another interview. Thank you to all of you that got in touch with me from the first episode. It was so great to get emails from you guys, and it was really nice to hear that you enjoyed listening and hearing about Jo and her journey. I'm so happy that anyone is listening, to be honest. So thank you, and I appreciate you emailing me. I received a lot of messages from you out there just suggesting subjects that you would like to hear covered on a UK van life podcast. So I've got a list here of the most popular ideas. Safety in your campervan as a solo female, that came up quite a lot. The best toilet solutions, always a big subject in the campervan world. Where do you go for a poo? That's what we all want to talk about, apparently. How to earn money while living a nomadic lifestyle. That's another one that came up quite a lot. The costs of converting a van and the process of converting a van. I think that is like one of the most popular subjects, and it's definitely one of the biggest, most popular YouTube videos, I think, when it comes to van life, is like people showing how they converted their van. So I'll definitely do an episode on that at some point in the future. But the biggest request I got, which was awesome, is that you want me to talk about van life pets. You guys are mad about your pets. It's your dog, your cat, your guinea pig, whatever it is. You seem totally crazy about them and you just want to talk about them. I'm so happy about that. I would do a van life pets episode every time if I could, to be honest. I love dogs. I love animals. So we'll definitely do a van life pets episode soon. And, you know, when I do have a podcast guest on that has a pet, we will be doing a deep dive into that. So don't worry, there is going to be a lot of pet content. So if you would like to get in touch with me, I really would love to hear from you. You can email me at vffspodcast@gmail.com, or you can go to the Facebook page and send a message there as well. So last week's bonus episode was me walking around on Dartmoor National Park, basically shitting myself. Some of you might have listened to that and thought, what a loser. That's totally fine. I can deal with that. But, you know, if you were listening to that and thinking to yourself like, oh my God, that's me. I get really freaked out when I'm on my own out there in the dark or whatever. I just wanted to give you a quick update. So since I recorded that bonus feature, it's probably like a few weeks ago now, I've really noticed that with a bit of practice, I'm feeling so much braver now. You know, I'm now in a place where I've managed to quieten some of those scary voices in my mind, and I'm actually feeling excited about going out and spending more time in my van. I'm parking up in places local to me that I would have been probably quite scared to park overnight before. But now, you know, with a bit of practice, I'm going there and I'm closing the curtains. I'm feeling really happy and safe, and I just don't feel it's much of a big deal anymore like I used to. So for me, that is such a big step in the right direction. And I just wanted to say to anyone out there who is struggling or feeling a bit anxious, or maybe you've just started van life and you're just feeling a bit nervous about where you park and where you sleep. If I can do it, then so can you. You know, I'm really excited that it will keep going like that. And I just wanted to give you hope out there if you're feeling that way. I have some plans to make a big road trip soon, maybe up to Scotland. I'm still not quite at that point. I'm not quite ready, but I'm really feeling like I'm getting to a place now where I can do that and I'm not going to be worried and I'm just going to go for it. So really looking forward to being in that headspace, and I will definitely be recording some audio so you guys can come along with me on my ridiculous journeys wherever I decide to go. This week's interview is with Jodie. Jodie is a writer and a nomad at heart who spent 6 months last year travelling around Europe in her self-converted Ford Transit campervan. On her journey, she soon realised that the Insta-worthy moments were few and far between, and the reality was car parks and campsites, not beach fires and banjos. We discuss anxiety around not fitting the hashtag vanlife image that you see all the time on social media, and how that can affect you when you're a real human being actually out there trying to achieve this lifestyle. We talk about the fact that doing things your way does not make your experience any less valid. You don't have to be bathing in the ocean and camping in the forest to be considered a success. Jodie really inspired me and had so many quotable sayings that I've been carrying with me ever since we spoke. At the time, I wasn't that experienced with structuring interviews, so we did end up having a really lovely long chat on the phone, which lasted hours. So this episode is pretty long. There is a lot of information in there. You might want to listen to it in 2 parts just to get the most out of it. This episode is going to be really good for those of you out there that are feeling kind of nervous about exploring van life and you might be holding yourself back from achieving your dreams. Anxiety around van life is a common issue for people, and this is definitely something that I will be exploring in this podcast. You're not alone out there if you are feeling anxious or nervous about van life, and you can do it at your own pace. I've recorded a little bonus feature again for you guys, which I'll put in at the end of this episode. I was asked by a van fan to talk about my favourite things about my van, so it is pretty simple. As I said, I am starting small with these little bonus features. So you'll find that at the end of this episode after the interview. So without further ado, here is the interview with Jodie. So here I am at Bovey Beach car park, just parked up. It is a gorgeous evening. It's so clear. There are a few clouds in the sky and it's creating gorgeous rays of sunlight that are shining through. The sea is super high tide and it looks so inviting. Unfortunately, I don't have time to go swimming today because I'm interviewing Jodie today. So I'm just getting all set up for that. The sky and the visibility is so clear today. I can see for absolutely miles. I can see the Eddystone Lighthouse, which is about 10 miles out to sea, crystal clear. I really want to tell you the story of the Eddystone Lighthouse. I'm going to do that soon on the podcast because it's a great story. I'm really looking forward to speaking to Jodie. I think that we're going to have quite a lot in common. I believe she's a travel writer. She sounds really interesting, so I've got loads to ask her. I can't wait. I'm going to go for a little walk and then I'm going to give Jodie a call. Hello, Jodie.
Hi.
I just want to start by saying I'm really excited to talk to you because when you sent me your email with the questionnaire with all your answers, I was absolutely delighted. I was like, oh my goodness, you need to tell me how you got your house in Bulgaria. You need to tell me all about Portugal.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because, you just kind of live your life and you don't really recognise it as being anything inspirational or anything out of the ordinary, and it's only kind of other people's reactions that make you go, oh yeah, I guess I am living a little bit differently to what's expected of people my age and stuff. And it's really, I find it really affirming because I feel like I've just spent years with people telling me I need to settle, and when are you going to come home and settle? And it's only recently that I've really kind of accepted that the road's not a temporary thing for me. I think settling's a temporary thing.
Totally.
Yeah, but it's weird, isn't it? Because I think you just kind of spend a long time thinking oh, everyone's doing this and you're not. Why is that? And questioning yourself and not following your own heart because it's not what's expected of you.
It took me quite a long time to be actually, I'm not doing anything wrong. This is just how I want to live my life.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think a lot of it is about learning to separate the noise of trying to find your voice in the layers of everyone's voices, everyone around you, society, what's expected, what's been the trajectory of what you're supposed to do. And it's really hard to unravel your own voice from all that noise and go, all right, what do I want? Yeah, so I kind of, I feel like when you're 21, everyone's yeah, go live in a van, obviously. you're 21. And then when you get to like 35, everyone's like, what are you doing? You're not 21. And like,
you're not on your gap year anymore. What are you doing?
That's it. Everyone's like story into van life is just like so layered, I think. But basically, like I've always been on the road, so to speak. I used to be a tour driver for bands, so I've done a lot of like living in vans around Europe.
Oh, that's such a Manchester thing. I really miss. I wish I'd grown up in Manchester. I really do.
Yeah, it's so funny that you said that. I never really thought of it as a Manchester thing, but actually everyone I know in Manchester has like driven vans on tour around Europe, so it probably is. Obviously I'd like done a lot of like the van stuff, but with like just loads of like drunk dickheads back when we were like 19 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just like took some time out from that whole life. Lived in various countries in Europe, got a house in Bulgaria, etc. Stayed there. And then came back to Manchester due to like having to be here for personal circumstances, and then a relationship breakdown, and so I was in Manchester in bricks and mortar, and just like really kind of feeling like life wasn't really looking the way I wanted it to look. And then I went to Portugal on a surf camp holiday. I've been surfing for 15 years, so I went to Portugal, and I just saw loads of people like still like being part of that community, like living in vans, and I was just like, oh shit, like I forgot that like that was happening out there, and that was a possibility for me. It's like it just fallen out of my mind.
Thanks for listening to VFFs Vanlife Podcast. If you want to write to me, it's vffspodcast@gmail.com. See you next week. I've got to go outside. I've got to go outside. I've got to go outside. I've got to go